Greetings, scoundrels. This is part 4 of the Blades in the Dark Roll20 review, and this, hopefully not too ambitious part, we're going to do a high-level review of the entire campaign module, all the components within it, and then in the future parts, we'll actually dive deeper into certain sections like rollable tables, token markers, and the compendium in-app experience. So let's go over this high-level view now. As we first created a game, which we did back in part 3, we're going to land at the start page. It has a opening, a get started for the players, for the GMs, and some resources that you can call upon. And we've got some iconic tokens for each of the playbooks, the Cutter, the Hound, the Leech, etc. The next page on this is the GMs Toolbox. This is a really good place to go to familiarize yourself with all of the capabilities of the module, including how the clocks work, how our faction status works, how you can change a faction's tier or hold, and as well as the backgrounds. I'm going to go deeper into all of that in the next part, in part 5, where we go into all the rollable tables. But this is a primer for you, and it also tells you what is in all of the tables themselves, because some of them are rather large. Like this one has 23 parts in it. The next page is a token library. This has a bunch of the Blades tokens. If you go to your art library and then go to the Blades in the Dark art pack, which is part of this bundle, you'll also see all of the tokens in there. So you can copy paste them out of this token library, or you can just drag them from your art library, whichever is easier for you. We just wanted those to be at your disposal. The next section is all of the factions. Every single faction listed in the book, along with their faction status and their tier and their hold. And in the next part, we'll go over how to change that faction status, how to change the tier and the hold as they change. But our intent is that whatever factions are relevant to you, you're gonna highlight those, copy them, and paste them onto the Dustfall page, which we'll see in just a second. The next one is a scores page. This is a page that's got a little bit of everything in here. We've got a few clocks that you could assign to different to different long-term projects. We've got a few little markers that you could drop on here. And this particular page, you see barrel cleft right now, but this can actually rotate through those 23 different images. So you can have whatever score you're going to be going on to, whatever the sort of mood is, this can be your play mat for that. That also includes a blank one. Again, we'll review that in the next section. And that blank one, you can put your own image behind, so you can have this banner around your custom content. Very cool. And then finally we get to the Dustfall page, which in my mind is kind of the meat and potatoes of, or the most commonly used space that you're going to be in. So this has the entire map of Dustfall. There's an option to turn the names off if those are kind of cluttering. I'll show that as well. But here's where you could mark your layer. You could put various little pins on the map for scores that you're pulling off. We've got a bunch of those pins here. We've got a few different icons, and we've got some place for long-term projects as well. It's also a great place to drop your character tokens, to copy paste the faction markers. So for instance, going back to that factions tab, if we have faction with a circle of flame, I could copy that, go to the Dustfall tab, paste it in there, and then as that changes, we all can see the faction status. And then the last thing that I'm going to go over in this section, again, we're going to get deeper into some things in the next parts, but last thing I'm going to go into is all the stuff that's in the journal. There are tons of handouts in here. So there's a simple rules overview that has both the PDF right out of the book, as well as all of that copied into text. And there's tons of things like that on character creation, GM reference, magnitude, downtime, all these very handy handouts all set up there for you. There's also some generators for generating people, buildings, scores, etc. Tons of good stuff in here. And again, we have both the full-size page that you could pull up, but if you want the text, we have it there as well. So you can copy paste that text as needed. Then we have one crew set up for every one character sheet set up for every crew. So for instance, if you're playing assassins, you can go here, click the character sheet, It's all set up. It's already set to assassins. You've already got your training and your insight prowess. You already set it tier 0 with stronghold. This is ready to go. You're going to pick your special ability and fill in the other upgrades and whatnot. But this is ready to go. The same with all of the other crew types. And then at the bottom here we have the faction status, and this is an alternate place for you to record your faction status. So there's not a right or wrong way to do this. I really like having it out on the map. Right here you can see Circle of Flame. That's what we care about. We'll only put the factions that are relevant to us, but this is a little more condensed, and you can keep it all on one sheet. So use what works best for you. We our method is, if we think that there's two different ways that we could do this that would work well, we just include them both, because things are going to work differently for different people. And then finally we have pre-generated characters. These are just the characters. This is just using the character sheet. We haven't done anything special here, but we have put the iconic character image and just done the very basic of assigning the character sheet that this is, this is the cutter, and therefore she's got 2 dots in skirmish, 1 dot in command, and you'll fill in all the rest. So that is the Haunts of Doskvol. There's a lot more in terms of what the rollable tables can do, and the token markers, and the compendium, and we're going to go through those in the future in the next parts. I'll leave you with this, that if you have purchased the compendium and you've added it, it'll appear here. You'll just see rules, and when you expand it, you'll see all the chapters, and there they are, and we'll go into all of that in a future part.